Super Bowl Sunday is the biggest day of the year for sure. It's the biggest sporting event of the year, so not surprisingly, it's the biggest day of the year for us. The numbers are actually still, TBD because we're a few days away, but as it gets closer to game time, it ramps, and we're seeing every single hour accelerated activity. And I've heard people estimate there could be over $100 million bet on New Jersey on the Super Bowl this year, which would be amazing.
Jason, when it comes to the sports book, clearly so many different individual things you can place bets on. How hard has it been to price these things up, given that it's a relatively new industry here in the US? Are you just copying the odds that you see overseas, or has this been a much more complicated and intricate process?
Well, you're right that there is an established overseas market. There's also a black market, unfortunately, which is what we're trying to disrupt. So there's lots of places to go look. And because there's so much access with online and mobile now, the majority of people who bet on online and mobile, including in the black market, everybody kind of gravitates towards the same place. The odds aren't really that different. Sometimes you run promotions on certain things to say, hey, you get the best odds on this particular bet here, try to get customers. But the true odds are kind of similar from company to company because everyone now has such access to information in real time.
So Jason, on a big game where there is a very large volume of bets placed, and you can hope, therefore, that the math and the averages play out in your favor, what sort of margin do you hope to make on the sports book?
On average, we're in like the 5 to 7% margin range, so we don't get too hung up on any individual event. Like anything, with one time, anything can happen. Just like in the game, anything can happen, no matter who's a better team or worse on any given Sunday. You can't really get too worried about what margin you make on the Super Bowl. We look at more monthly and annual margins and quarterly margins.
How do you make DraftKings the preferred platform versus some of your competitors?
Well, it's all about customer experience. It's a pretty simple rule. If you have the best customer experience, then that's where people want to be. So that's where we're investing. We also do a lot of marketing to try to build a brand and attract customers. But at the end, you can bring as many people as you want to the platform. They're not going to stay. They're going to go find other places if you're not giving them the best experience. So that's where we're doubling and tripling down, and we're going to continue to make that the biggest area of investment for the remaining years that we're running the company.
Jason, as this becomes legalized in more places, becomes more mainstream, do you fear irresponsible betting addiction? I guess the UK is already some decades ahead of the US market in this regard, and currently going through a big sort of soul searching in the industry as to whether things should be banned and legalization should be withdrawn in certain areas because of the problems it creates.
Well, this is yet another reason why I think having a legal regulated system is better for society. So, what people forget is no matter what, black market or legal and regulated, people are going to do this. There's already upwards of hundreds of billions of dollars being bet illegally in the black market in the U.S. this year. We, unlike those places, have things like self-exclusion. We have opt-out lists so that if people are known to have a gambling issue, we don't let them play. And there's regulations and rules around this stuff. So, we also pride ourselves in really trying to be responsible here. This is an issue we believe is really important to get out ahead of. It's not good business, and it's not good for anybody to have those types of things. And it's a very low percentage, so, it's not like it's something that is rampant, but we obviously want to have it be as close to zero as possible. And having real rules and regulations instead of just people going on shady black market offshore websites is the best way to do that.
So, Jason, to that point, this time next year, how much advancement do you anticipate we'll make on sports gambling by state?
I think you're going to see another half dozen to 10 states pass legislation in this in 2019. How long it takes each of them to get it up and running is a little bit of a guess. I've seen, New Jersey get up in 2 to 3 months, and other states that are going on almost a year now since they passed a bill and then haven't gotten going. So it'll vary depending on the existing infrastructure, but the momentum is real, and I think you're going to see a lot of movement again this year. Already 8 states have legalized this in some form or another.
Jason, do you offer odds yet? I know only in New Jersey on the English Premier League or not?
Of course.
Selfishly
of course. We have 60 different. Yeah, we have 60 different sports available. Not all of them are approved yet by the New Jersey Department of Gaming Enforcement, but we have a lot of good English Premier League betting. It's a very popular sport for us, actually.
Hey, Patriots are 2.5-point favorites. Who do you have?
Well, from like a fan standpoint, our company's in Boston. I'm from Boston, so I think you can guess where I'm leaning. But you know, it's going to be a great game. It's an NFL game between two great teams, and you know, last time the Patriots played the Rams in the Super Bowl, I think it was something like a 14 or 14.5 point, a 13.5 point favorite for the Rams, and the Patriots won. So you never know what's going to happen.